What's up, fight fans? Gordie Tamayo Steve Gallegos, right there, with TheTitleFight.com, coming at you with some coverage over Mayweather versus Pacquiao. All the hype, all the build-up leading up to this event. It's been a long time in the making. Steve, what are your feelings at this time, leading up to fight week?
Well, the biggest event in the history of boxing is finally here. And it's 5 years in the making. Some of us feel it's 5 years too long. It's a fight that may or may not be past its expiration date. Wait a long time. I mean, fight fans have been frustrated this fight hasn't been made for a long time, but it's finally here, so let's enjoy it.
Okay, so a little bit of the tagline that we just put it for this fight: Mayweather versus Pacquiao, for the people, for the pocket. Steve, we got the good versus evil concept. We got the politician versus the dude throwing money up at the club, right? We got sorry, Mayweather, we got the guy who beats women, right? Versus the man who has a nice wife, bunch of kids, a couple things going around that behind that as well. We won't get into too much depth. But what do you think about that there? Is this really a fight for the people, for the pocket, maybe a little bit of both? What do you think?
I think it's more for the pocket. I mean, the live gate is huge. Both men are making, millions of dollars. I mean, pay-per-view alone is $99.95 if you want to watch it in high definition. Only 500 tickets went on sale to the public, and the cheapest was $1,500. And of course, that's face value, so it's going to be going for a lot more. I even heard, cheapest tickets going for $20,000, which is insane. I mean, this doesn't seem like a fight for the people. I mean, your average working person, the average fan can't afford a ticket to this fight, and if they can, then more power to them. But I don't think it is for the fans. It's more for Hollywood, basically.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are on that same consensus, which is why they've been talking about it being such a circus. Everybody seems to be cashing in on it as much as possible. Names will not drop on this one, but you know who you are if you're going to be watching this here. Got a text about a couple tickets that were running for 20 grand, and I was like, I don't have a kidney to give for that, so we'll have to wait. But nonetheless, we're going to be chopping it up with a bunch of people debating about all the hype behind this fight and some of the myths, which I want to address some of this with you right now, Steve. We got the whole boxing is dead statement that seems to circulate ever so often. What do you have to say to that statement?
That is absurd. Boxing is far from dead. It is alive and well, probably more so than it's ever been. I mean, boxing does not need Mayweather and Pacquiao to survive. Yes, it's a super fight, and of course, boxing needs these type of glamour bouts every so often, but it's not going to die because this fight doesn't happen. Boxing was already in great shape in 2015 before Mayweather and Pacquiao got made. To me, Mayweather and Pacquiao is just the icing on the cake. I mean, boxing has returned to network television. It's going to be on just about every major network. I mean, other than HBO and Showtime, ratings are high. The arenas are full. Viewership has been high. Millions of fans are tuning in to watch these bouts. So numbers don't lie. Ratings don't lie. Boxing is in great shape.
And, of course, we got to get your prediction on this, Steve. We got Mayweather, who's coming into this bout undefeated. Obviously, he's the ace out of this fight. Pacquiao's admitted to that. But in some humor to that, Mr. Pacquiao has dropped some knowledge on reporters and people that are inquiring about why he just gave in to all the demands that Mayweather had for him. Right? We're talking about not getting the same kind of cut, not getting the same pay-per-view revenue, not getting any choice in the date, location, referee, yada, 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 right? He kind of hinted to the fact that, hey, when you got somebody that's on death row, you give in to all their demands because that's their last meal, their last request. Steve, any truth to that? Or do you think Manny's just being a comedian at this point? What's your prediction on how this is going to go down?
Floyd Mayweather's boxing IQ was probably the greatest in the history of the sport. That's why he's undefeated. That's why he's earned all these millions. I mean, I've said it many times that Floyd Mayweather cannot be beaten, and I truly believe that is the case. Floyd is really smart. He can sense when someone's going to be throwing a shot at him. He knows when fighters are going to be coming at him, and he can just pick fighters off. He can figure them out on the fly. He picks them apart. He's going to stand in the pocket, jab, counter punch, stay out of harm's way, and he's going to box his way to an easy decision, in my opinion.
And do you think that, I mean, this fight's already doing huge numbers right now, obviously, right, leading up into the fight. If we already know there's not a rematch clause, right, for if Floyd were to lose, or I'm sorry, if he were to win, right? But could we see a rematch taking place with such a big money fight on the table here? Would it warrant that, do you think, or do you think it's going to depend on how it plays out?
Yeah, it depends on how it plays out. I mean, I see this not being a really all action slugfest. I think Floyd's going to take the safe route and box his way to a decision. Pacquiao's got to be aggressive from the outset, put pure pressure on Mayweather, land that jab, land that straight left. You just got to frustrate him, and he's got to do that for the entire 12 rounds. Like George Foreman said the other day, he just got to focus on winning one round at a time. Floyd Mayweather, like I said, has got the best boxing IQ in the business, and he's undefeated for a reason. And I think he's just going to be too much for Pacquiao. No knock on Manny, I love him. He's one of my favorite fighters, but Floyd is Floyd Mayweather, and I truly believe he can't be beaten.
Okay, fair enough. This event has kind of eclipsed a lot of other events and a lot of other fighters that should be getting a little bit of attention as well. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Well, there's fights that are happening, 2 weeks after this bout that should not be overlooked. One of them being Canelo Alvarez versus James Kirkland the week after. That's going to be an all-action bout. I mean, Canelo Alvarez is probably the biggest star in the sport next to Mayweather and Pacquiao, and he always brings excitement. He's got charisma. Fans love him, and he's fighting a guy, James Kirkland, who's an all-action brawler, loves to come forward, make it a slugfest. I think James Kirkland's going to bring out the best in Canelo Alvarez. People can say what they want about James Kirkland, saying that he's not going to win this fight because Ann Wolf's not in his corner. I don't buy into that. Ann Wolf, did not get in the ring and fight for James Kirkland when he fought against Glenn Tapia or against Alfredo Angulo. I mean, it's the fighter who has to dig deep and show that heart. And I don't think that the trainer can take all the credit for that. James Kirkland's going to bring it.
Well, I got to agree with you on a lot of that. I think this one's scheduled to be some fireworks, possibly even more so than what's coming up this weekend. But only time will tell. That's all for today. We're going to sign off and bring you back here for another session, maybe even hit you back with some thoughts on the actual fight coming up this weekend on Fight Day. So keep posted with us on TheTitleFight.com. Gordie Tamayo here, and Steve Gallegos over there signing off. Until next time.